One of the guys that I admire tremendously over the years, he's my book mentor. His name is Peter Drucker.
Yes.
And I'm sure you're in the leadership position and you know about him. And Peter Drucker once said, in our knowledge economy, if you haven't learned how to learn, you will have hard time. So we really need to know how to learn, and we really need to learn how to combine different type of learning method in order to become an effective learner. What do you think is the most effective learning method?
Well, I think it varies for different people. And I've had this conversation with a number of people before. I think that what we're learning from the world around us is that people really want to be connected to one another. Whether you're looking at Facebook or LinkedIn or any of the tools, you can see that those social connections are very critical. And so, while I am a big believer that in e-learning, in the sense that you can learn a certain amount of stuff on your own, sort of a self-paced self-study, I just don't think that it can be replaced completely by either classroom participation or an engaged group of people learning together, because you learn from each other. And so I don't, I guess I have a tough time trying to think of what is the best one, other than to say, I don't think e-learning exclusively 100% of the time. Like if somebody went through all of their years of schooling and all they did was e-learning, you would wind up with a person who had very little social interaction and skills, and they wouldn't be able to function in society. Some level of that I think is okay for some things, but ultimately I think it's the blended type of approach where you get the benefit of the technology, but then you can also absolutely engage with other people who are taking classes, and that's how, in my opinion, that's how you learn.
I used to love classroom training. I loved that interaction.
Yes.
I loved that discussion. I still continuously, I like that. But I have so much curiosity, and I find reading books is a great way to learn.
Yes.
Fastest way to learn for me.
Yes.
I also know people, I see that they're really bad in classroom. But if you provide them that on-the-job, one-on-one training, they are really, really good at that. So as a good leader, when we develop individual learning plan, we must not only focus on their goal and looking into their competency model, we need to also pay attention of their learning style so that we can develop an effective learning method and learning plan for that person to reach their goal.
You're absolutely right. It varies from person to person. I can't agree with you more. It's a personal preference. In some cases, it's the way people are most excited about learning. I found it interesting that I know that, and I see this with my daughters, in certain circumstances, if something online is very engaging, if it's very interactive, they will do much better than if they are looking at it somewhere else, right? Reading a book or passively watching a TV program, or even just listening to somebody talk. But I do think that it takes multiple ways of learning, and I think the one-on-one that you described, the person who can't really learn as well in a setting that's different from that, I think you're absolutely right. Those learning plans have to be tailored not just around what you're learning, but also how you're learning and the methods in which you choose. And so I think that's a great reminder of that.